Hey everyone, Top Advisor here, and in this video I want to take a look at the Micro Four Thirds camera lenses for 2019 or 2020. I know it's a completely different story when it comes to shooting on a Micro Four Thirds camera. I do want to go deeply into the topic of MFT technology, but you're certainly aware of the fact that the market is quite limited and finding the perfect lens for your camera can be a real problem. Of course, all of these lenses provided below will be compatible with your camera as long as you have an MFT camera, but it doesn't matter if you use Panasonic, Sony, or anything else. Many of us hobby or starting photographers or videographers use kit lenses, which is not bad by any means. They are included in the box when you buy your new camera and you get used to them really quickly. But to move our work to a different level, we will eventually have to upgrade. One safe bet is to go for the Olympus M Zuiko Digital. It is mostly praised for its practical performance and for its reasonable size. No one would of course want a huge lens sticking out of their tiny camera body. The focal length is 12 to 40 millimeters, which provides versatility, and for most of the people it's gonna be enough. It's wide while maintaining the option to go for a more zoomed in look. Aperture is f2.8, which means that there won't be a lot of blur, a lot of bokeh, but you can still get some. It is one of the lighter lenses. It has Pro in the name and definitely feels like it, meaning it is built perfectly and gives you premium feel. It's made out of a metal and also sealed and ready to go for in every weather. It's dust-proof and splash-proof as well. The price of this one is about $800, and of course the link to every single product is going to be found or can be found down below in the description. Number 2 is Panasonic 25mm f1.7. It is a full frame equivalent of 50mm, which is considered to be standard and looks totally normal. It's not zoomed in or too wide. It's not good for vlogging though, since you need a wider frame for that. But the lens is very small and light, which makes it very easy to carry around even if you travel a lot or your camera bag is too small. It's made out of plastic, but surprisingly doesn't feel cheap. It's not cheaply made, if you know what I mean. It has a fast autofocus and a very sharp image due to the fact that it is a prime lens and you can't adjust the focal length. I said it has a great autofocus, but the manual focus is not the best thing in the world because it uses a technology called focus by wire. It means that the pieces of glass inside the lens don't really move when you rotate the focus ring, but instead, the moment you rotate it, a signal is going to be sent to the camera and the camera moves the piece of the glass electronically to adjust the focus, which works. Don't get me wrong, but there is a tiny delay, not a big one, but still. So if your camera doesn't support any built-in stabilization, if you don't use gimbal or you intend to use it handheld, then the video is going to end up very shaky and even unusable at times. And also, this lens isn't officially weather sealed, so don't use it in a heavy rain and you'll be good. But other than that, the price of this one is about $150, which makes it feel very good and perfect. But like I said, mostly the stabilization has been a problem for me, but other than that, the lens is very sharp and very good. Number 3 on my list is Sigma f1.4 60mm lens. This one feels almost too good to be true because it only costs about $400. It is very wide, but it is an equivalent to 24mm on full frame. Mostly metal build lens for versatile use. It has a rubber grip for easier manual focusing. It's better for taking photos in my opinion. Of course, it is a 1.4, so you'll get a really nice and soft bokeh. I love pretty much everything about this lens except for one thing, and that is of course optical stabilization. If your camera has built-in image stabilization, then you're pretty much good. Or if you have a gimbal or you plan on using it on the tripod, then it is completely okay. But in other cases, it just sucks. You know, warp stabilizer will never compensate for the footage. I mean, and it's just gonna end up looking terrible. Like, really. But if you want to take beautiful photos with this, then the stabilization doesn't really play a big role in this. So no problem there as far as that goes. But make sure you set up shutter speed the proper way and the photos will look stunning. Sure, it is not a classic portrait lens, but provides a nice look. Like I said, the price of this one is about $400, and for a Sigma lens, for this sharp, beautiful lens, this is definitely a steal. Number 4 is again from Panasonic, and this time 12 to 35mm f2.8, the second generation actually, but it has O.I.S, which stands for optical image stabilization. What stands out the most on this lens is the ability to turn on optical image stabilization on the actual lens with a switch button. It's going to serve for really smooth videos, so if you plan on recording a lot of videos, making them buttery smooth is really crucial. And in case you have a Panasonic G7, for example, that isn't equipped with any kind of stabilization at all, O.I.S is a must. It has constant aperture of f2.8, meaning that even if you zoom it in, it always keeps the same aperture, and the lens is always wide open to make sure a lot of light makes its way to the sensor. It is the equivalent of 24 to 70mm on a full frame. The price of this one is about $800, which is reasonable for its feature in my opinion. The last lens on my list is again from Panasonic, but this time a macro 30mm f2.8. This lens serves a completely different purpose because obviously it is a macro lens, meaning that it is dedicated to a different group of users, but I think that this type of lens should be in every photographer's or videographer's camera bag. It's made out of plastic and metal, but it looks like a kid lens in my opinion. You shouldn't encounter a purple or fringing whatsoever. For close-ups, it is perfect and very sharp, but it can be used for everyday photography as well. Of course, the look and style is different because it is a macro lens, but it still can be used in normal conditions while maintaining quality and sharpness. Some people could complain that the 30mm isn't enough for macro, but this is subjective. You know what it is when you're buying it. Surely you need to get closer to your subject to get that classy macro look, but considering the reasonable price and the fact that this lens is optically stabilized, which again for video is crucial, then it doesn't really have to be the worst one out there. The price is about $300, and again the link can be found down below in the description. So we got to the end of this list. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments which of the lenses you like, which are some of your recommendations, which are the other things that you would buy. Down below in the comments is a place to go. So make sure you like this video, subscribe for more content, and definitely take a look at the products below. Have a great day and see you guys next time by Top Advisor.